Man, I tell you, if we did swear jars, these two filters would have filled up 10 of them. It is time for Tim's 50-hour service, so let's get to it. In this 50-hour service, I'm going to be replacing the hydraulic fluid, which is also the transmission fluid, the front axle gear oil, which is right here, and then the motor oil. I got all of this from Tractor Supply. These are the fluids that I feel are appropriate for this tractor, but you should decide what you should put in your tractor. All of this met the specs that were in the manual, so this is what I'm going to be using. I'll put links to all of this oil down in the description of the video, along with the filters that I'll show you next. For the oil filters, I got these Baldwin B228s. These were a cross-reference to the Deutz engine oil filter that's on the tractor. Not only did I have a hard time trying to find anybody who had that filter, it was also very expensive. I think I paid 30 bucks for all three of these. Of course, the engine only needs one. I buy extra, so I have them in the building. These two hydraulic filters are the ones that were in the tractor when I bought it. When I bought it, it had this bag, which has, you know, the manuals and some extra little pieces inside of here for the tractor. It also had two hydraulic filters that are the filters that need to be replaced. Now, this tractor has two filters on it, so this is one filter change. When I do my next hydraulic filter change, if these filters are outrageous or hard to find, I'll cross-reference them. But just doing a quick search on them, they look like they're about the same price as a cross-reference, so I'd probably just buy these TYM filters if they're available. All right, so the first thing I do is I drain my fluids. I'll use old oil buckets and some oil drain pans to catch that oil, but I like to let it drain and sit a little while to get as much of that old oil and any contaminants that are in there out. Then I put the filters on and fill it back up. So I'm gonna start draining now. I've got a lot of machines, so I do a lot of maintenance. And I gotta tell you, this tool right here, when it comes to changing fluids, is just a lifesaver. I recommend getting one if you don't have one. It has a 20-gallon tank on it here that can catch the fluid. Then when you're done, you just plug it in and it sucks the fluid out of the tank. I have a big 55-gallon drum that I keep all my old oils in, and I just hook that over the edge of it and it just puts it all in there. Now, you don't have to have a ton of these. I know there's a lot of drain points on this, but what I do is when I first pull a plug, you're gonna have a rush of fluid. So I use this until that drain point calms down. Then I'll use like an old oil container like this. I'll put it underneath it to just catch the little stream that's coming down. Then I'll move it to the next drain plug. And I do that all over the tractor, the equipment, whatever it is I'm working on. I even use it to catch diesel fuel and everything when I'm pulling down fuel filters. It just catches everything and keeps you from having a big mess. So I'm adding this to hopefully be a helpful tip, I guess. And if you've never seen one of these, I'll put a link to this down in the description. There's a lot of companies and a lot of different versions of this, but either way, I think there's even a 25 and a 40 gallon. I mean, they've got some big ones. So check them out. If you don't have one, it's been awesome for me. So on the axle, you'll probably see yellow paint on it like this, but these are just square-headed plugs. So I'm just going to use an adjustable wrench. There's one here at the bottom on each side. There's one up here on top for a vent. It's good to take that one out to let everything drain well. And then there is a drain plug right here on bottom. And the feel for the axles on this side here, there's only one, at least on this tractor, and it's also painted yellow. Another good thing about this is you can just lay the plug on the screen while it drains. If you leave the vent plug in while you're draining, this gear oil won't come blasting out. But if you take that vent plug out while it's draining down here, you're gonna have a big stream pouring out. You better be ready for it. So I recommend leaving the vent plug in while you're draining it, at least until it gets pretty low. Then I would take the vent plug out and let it just all drain out. The vent plug is probably meant more for filling than it is draining. But if you want it to drain real fast, pulling that vent plug would do it. This is a 5-quart container. It's almost exactly what I'm getting out. Actually, it's probably more than 5 quarts because that thing's all the way up to the top, just to let you know what you're gonna get out of that. And that's each side. And that's even after this thing has pretty much drained and is just dripping. So be ready for that amount of oil coming out. All right, so pretty much all of the oil out of the front axle is drained. I do put the drain plugs back in and let it sit for a little while. Before I fill that axle up, I'll pull those drain plugs one more time, let that collected oil come out, so that way I can just get as much of that old oil out. I wouldn't normally do this on a regular maintenance, but this being the 50-hour and I don't know what kind of fluids were in there, I'm gonna get as much of it as I can out. So now draining the motor oil, as you see, there is a split oil pan here. This is the drive shaft right here to the front axle. So they had to put 2 drain plugs, one on this side of the oil pan, one on this side of the oil pan. If you notice, you can see the oil dripping down on both sides. I have pulled the oil plugs and it drained fine. Now, this is the frame to the loader, and you've got this big section here. When you pull that plug, even if you only pull one plug, if you pull the plug, it's going to spray against this frame and spray out pretty far to the side. So again, a very large oil capture pan, kind of like the one I showed earlier, is perfect for something like this because it just sprays everywhere. You got to do it on both sides. So I did one until it was dripping, and then I did the other side. It did the exact same thing, but it was quicker to stop because most of the oil was drained out. So again, big oil capture pan if you don't want to get this all over the ground. The drain plug is a 17 millimeter. The plug was snug, but it was not super tight. It was put on what I would say properly on mine. So if you're thinking it's on way too tight, you may be turning it the wrong way. Make sure you're not turning the wrong direction, but these came off at no problem. For the filters, I don't know yet, but the drain plugs came out fine. All right, now I'm going to pull the oil filter. If you're sitting in the seat of the tractor, it's on the left side of the engine, and I'm gonna take that off now. So it was good to find out that the strongest man in the world didn't install my oil filter. Of course, it's gonna make a mess though. I don't know any other way around that other than just having the pan below. Came off no problem. That's the filter information. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this thing on the oil pan. All right, so I'm gonna let that drain down while I go get the other oil filter. I'm gonna compare the 2 filters, make sure they at least look very similar, and we'll get it put on. All right, this is the Baldwin, the B228 versus the one that came off the tractor. I mean, they look pretty similar. So size-wise, it should screw on fine and everything. The last tractor I had, they recommended Baldwin filters for replacements, so that's what I bought. Plus, they were pretty easy to find. I got those off of Amazon, like I said, for 10 bucks a piece or so. So again, I'll put links in the description. Oil filter's now on. It was a good match. It screwed on with no problem. Gasket seated well. I did oil the gasket. It should do just fine. Before I start draining the hydraulic oil, I need to get this oil out of here because the hydraulics is 18 gallons. This is some thick oil here. Now on to the transmission. This is the fill up port right here. This little cap is the filler. There are 2 drain points for the hydraulic fluid on the bottom. So let's go take a look at those. All right, so this is your main drain for your transmission and your hydraulics. There's your 2 filters, one over here and one on this other side. So that's your hydraulic filters. And then you have another little drain plug up there. That's just so you can drain out what oil is up in that little housing, because this area does not have a good low point to keep it all together. This drain plug is a 23 millimeter. So that's coming out nice and easy. And one of the reasons I like doing my own maintenance is so I can examine the drain plugs. This one's got a magnetic drain plug, and look at all those shavings that are on there. I'm gonna look at it better, see if there's any large shavings or anything to worry about. But that's the reason you do these break-in oil changes, because you could get a lot of that small, fine metal shavings in there. But I'm gonna check it out. I checked the drain plug and cleaned it off really well, but it was all real small metal shavings, nothing that I think I need to worry about. If you find big chunks of stuff, that's usually what I worry about. But I cleaned it off really well, so we'll see what shows up on the next change. The small drain plug here on the front is a 12 millimeter, but you might have to knock the paint off. Now I'm draining that hydraulic fluid. That was a lot of fluid, and it's pumping into the barrel. Without this right here, I'd have got that hydraulic fluid all over the place. All right, so now we're getting to the hydraulic filters. Let's find out if they're as bad as everyone says they are. If they're on there really tight, you should be able to just run a razor blade across the paint where the filter and the housing meet, and that's supposed to be what the problem is, but we'll see. These filters are too big for my oil filter wrenches that have the metal band that go around it. I have 2 of them, and even my largest one won't go around this. I also have a rubber band type that goes around and it pulls with the handle, but that won't get it off. So my filters are on too tight, or they have the paint on them that's holding it. I did get a knife cut around the paint, and I'm gonna use this oil filter wrench. I use these type when they don't come off. The only problem with these, they do work really well, but they usually puncture the filter and you get oil everywhere. So I'm going to use this now to get them off and see if this will do it. Let me tell you something. This right here is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And this isn't paint. If you look at these, I went around them with a razor blade and then came back with a small screwdriver to make sure that the paint was not making it stick. The paint was not the problem. The problem was I had to turn these 2 full turns with a screwdriver stuck all the way through them before they loosened up enough where I could just turn them with the screwdriver. I had to use about a 24-inch pipe on top of a really long, heavy-duty flathead screwdriver. I jammed it through there. I still was not able to turn it by hand. I put the 24-inch pipe over it, and I was barely able to do it. It kept tearing, as you can see here, the oil filter. See that? Look how bad I had to tear into these things. And again, 2 full turns before they even started loosening up. When you put these things on, you put them hand tight, and then you do about 1/4 of a turn. That's it. Somebody is torquing these things on like crazy. If I was buying my tractor new and I knew about this, I would say, before I pick that tractor up, you better loosen those things 2 to 3 turns and then tighten them back up. You can loosen these filters up, but probably a good couple turns before any hydraulic fluid would come out. This is ridiculous. I mean, I was down there breaking my back trying to get these things off. All right, the new filters went on without issue. No problems putting them on. Of course, just taking them off. Now, do note there are magnetic like bolts inside of there. So if you do have to do what I did and jam a screwdriver through it, try not to go right through the middle because you're going to hit those magnetic bolts that are there to collect metal as it's filtering through the hydraulic oil. So try to avoid directly in the middle, only if you have to do the screwdriver method. All right, so now that I've got the 2 hydraulic filters replaced, the engine oil filter replaced, and all the fluids drained, while I was underneath the tractor putting on the hydraulic filters, I did come and hit the drain plugs one more time. Not much came out with it sitting there for the hours that it did, but some. Probably not worth it to do it, but like I said, I don't know what kind of oils they had in here, so I just tried to get out as much as I could. Anyways, now is time to fill up the gear oil, the motor oil, and the hydraulic oil. All right, so it's time to put the hydraulic oil in, and we're talking about 18 gallons here. I don't lift these 5-gallon pails much anymore unless I have to. I'm using this pail pump here to pump that into the transmission and the hydraulic reservoir. It pumps pretty good, but it takes a little while. So if you guys know of any better electric, not so expensive ways, something like this that's electric, I'd love to know down in the comments. But this is what I use when it comes to 5-gallon buckets. So here goes to putting in 18 gallons. All right, so on my tractor, it has this little gauge here for the hydraulic oil, and it is showing that I'm pretty much full. Of course, I'm gonna work the hydraulics, do all the cylinders up and down, everything I need to do to get it flowing, and I'll probably need to add more. But it shows that it's level, so now I'm gonna move on to the motor oil. So the motor oil filler is on the left side of the engine if you're in the seat of the tractor, along with the dipstick is underneath it. So I've got the cap off. I'm gonna go ahead and put in about 2¼ gallons it calls for. So I'm gonna put in about 2 gallons and then check it. All right, so it took a little over 2 gallons. I checked the dipstick, it's right in the good sweet spot. I'll check it again after running the engine for a little bit and just make sure the dipstick still looks good. But it should be good enough to crank the engine. So now moving on to the front axle. The filler for the front axle is right here. It's just like the cap on the rear of the tractor for the transmission oil. Unlike the transmission fill cap, this one has like a little dipstick on it, so it can tell you when you've got the right amount of oil in the axle. Calls for 4.3 gallons of gear oil, so I'm assuming around 4 gallons is gonna go back in. We'll check it and see. All right, I put about 4 gallons in there. It's saying it's a little bit high, but I bet I need to drive it a little bit and get that worked into these hubs and everything here so that all the lube is spread out. I'll check it again like I will the hydraulic and the engine oil after I crank it and run it a little bit. So I cranked it up. I went through the hydraulics, the 3-point up and down. I did the loader up and down multiple times, and it probably ran for 60 seconds or so. It already shows low on the hydraulics and on the oil. So I'm gonna top those off, but that's it. I'm left with, I don't know, about a gallon is in there on the gear oil. I've got not even a half gallon in there on the motor oil. And then I've got about 4 gallons of the hydraulic fluid. But of course I gotta top everything off. So I definitely ordered enough to do it and still have a little bit left over to top them off as I go. Well, Timmy boy is ready to go. We've got new gear oil in the front axle. We've got new hydraulic oil, new hydraulic filters on, new motor oil, and new motor oil filter. That's it. That's your 50-hour service. I'd also recommend hitting your grease zerks, checking your fuel filter, making sure you drain it, topping off your coolant. Well, I hope all of this information was helpful to someone. Again, I will have the links down in the description to all the tools and the fluids and filters and everything that I did here. Thank you very much for watching, and y'all take care.